Look at these two.
It's a lot, huh?
It's a lot of dogs. Why get those dogs?
What's up, everybody? I'm Jeremy. And who are you?
Alyssa.
And this is Oliver and Otis. These are Alyssa's family dogs that we're watching, if you didn't know. But anyway, this is A&J's Q&A. Feel free to comment on this video if you have any questions that you would like us to answer. We're going to go ahead and answer about 7 questions today, and the other half we'll do on another video, just to keep them as short as possible. Alright, so let's get started.
Question numero uno, in no certain order. Can you explain how an e-collar is used in counter-conditioning a dog-aggressive dog that will attack another dog while on leash or off?
Sure. E-collar, when it comes to dog aggression, should be treated the same way as you would correct a dog via prong collar. Same concept there. You want to do what's necessary, be as sensitive as possible, and be as firm as necessary, right? So if I'm working a dog that, most of the time, if I'm working a dog that's prong collar, sometimes some dogs amp up if they do receive prong collar pressure. That's a good candidate for e-collar when it comes to dog aggression, especially on leash. But just use the e-collar as a communicative way, as if you were tapping the dog on the shoulder, or saying hey, or hey, or anything to break that mindset. That's what the goal of the e-collar is, just to snap them out of that mindset that they're currently in. Remember to always correct the thought so that you can avoid the action, right? So when a dog looks at another dog, then it's time then to intervene. Be proactive with the correction. Hope that helps. Name off who it is. Who's
Doug.
Okay, Doug, that's for you. All right. So
The next question is from Ben. And Ben asks, our dog can eventually be made to be friends with individual dogs through days and hours of exposure and walks. However, he is level 8 to 10 reactive to every other dog or animal he sees in the car, in the yard, or on leash on a walk. What are any suggestions to help at least train him to be non-reactive?
So, those 3 things are pretty territorial. On walks, they're a little protective of you, and could be a little fearful of dogs coming up to them. So everything that you mentioned, introduce non-negotiable structure in those moments in the car. Don't allow your dog to look out the window. I would have them in a down. What you have to do is take control of their mindset, that when they become fearful, add a little structure to help them realize that, you know, they don't necessarily need to get into that fearful, barky state, right? So take control of that situation. Show your dog that it can relax on the walk, in your yard, and in the car. In the car, go ahead and down them. In the walk, the dog must heel in the correct position. Okay, and I will go ahead and link the video, my how-to video, how to walk correctly. So that's the job to do on the walk, is to heel correctly. That'll help with the reaction. And again, like I mentioned before, the other question is, it's very important to correct the look. As soon as your dog goes and ears go up, that's when your opportunity is to go ahead and correct. And then in the yard, I would do the same thing. Put your dog in a down, and eventually, if your dog has to do those things, then he knows, for one, that you are in control, and for two, he doesn't have to act so crazy and fearful at whatever he is doing that towards. Okay? Awesome.
Alright. Next one comes from Rebecca. We just adopted a 9-year-old lab mix. He is strong and has 0 manners on leash. Do you suggest gentle leader or front clip harness system as we are working with him? Any tips? Thanks.
Strong what? You read it again, the first part.
He is strong and has 0 manners on
Okay.
leash. Do you suggest gentle leader or front clip harness system?
If you're working with the two, I would go with the gentle leader. But first and foremost, I'd either go with a slip lead or a prong collar. Okay, and I'll go ahead and link the my prong collar video to the in the description box below, so that you can kind of know the ins and outs of the prong collar, and then how to really incorporate that. It's not about him not having manners. He just hasn't been taught how to walk correctly. Okay, so what we got to do is use the correct tools. I would say my go-to tool is the slip lead or the prong collar for that, for the walk. And like I said, I will leave the video down below in the description box, the how to walk, and then the prong collar video for you. Okay, say the name of who it is.
Rebecca.
Okay, say it before that you.
I did.
Yes, okay.
This next one is from Jayme. What is
Okay.
What is the best way to handle a veterinary visit with a dog who is insecure with new people? The vet has to do their exam, so what's the best way to control your dog? Do you let them take them in back away from you and muzzle them? Thanks.
Great question. You know, vets are going to, and shout out to Jayme. I hope Delphi's doing okay. That's a good question. Like I said, you know, vets usually want to take the dog away from the parent because of that. You know, they feel that they lessen their risk of getting bit because of protection, whatever. The dog might be getting protective. But you know, I've been talking to a few vets, and man, you know, the best way to go about conditioning your dog to be okay with vets is, first and foremost, you know, we have to build trust with our dogs. I've only had success with my dogs doing so because I was able to be back there with them. I will insist, because I know I can control my dogs better than anybody. I insist on being back there. So if you have that confidence, then you go ahead and go back there with your dog. You know, you're a trainer, so that's what I would do, because like I said, if I'm holding my dog knows it can trust the situation a little bit better if I'm there controlling him. So, but you know, that's a good question, and I won't make this too long, but we really got to figure out how we can get dogs to feel better about vets, because if the only time the dog is there or goes to the vet, they're rushing in and out, you know, that doesn't give the dog time enough to be calm and relax in that environment. And I think that's the big problem with a lot of dogs is we just go there. It's hectic from the get-go. You know, someone comes in and maybe gives a treat to relax or whatever, but then, you know, they're getting things stuck up their butt and shots and all that from strangers, and it's just like, so it could be pretty traumatic. The last vet visit I did with my dog, it was awesome, because I talked to the vet and I said, would you mind if I allow my dog to calm down before we take the next step? Because in my opinion and my philosophy, if we move forward when they're insecure or hyper or anything like that, it just reinforces or makes the fear even worse. So if I can get my dog calm in that environment, then we can create a positive experience. I hope that helps. We'll figure out a way. Okay, next question.
One more.
One more question?
I think so, right?
Man, we rolling through them.
This is a really good one.
Okay, go ahead.
Important topic. What is the best way to start relieving a dog's aggression, anxiety, nervousness around small children?
What is the best way to relieve the dog's?
What is the best way to start relieving a dog's aggression
Yep.
/ anxiety / nervousness around small children?
Okay, this is an important one, and I'm going to say it again. I might repeat myself many times, but it's really important that we introduce anything and everything. It doesn't matter what it is. If your dog's nervous about anything, it has to be introduced with guidance and structure. Okay, and take it as slow as possible, because kids and dogs, I'm always very, very, very extra careful when it comes to kids and dogs. So have your dog on leash at all times, under control, right? And make sure your kids or whoever's kids can remain calm, because that's why dogs get in a lot of trouble. Too much instability coming from kids, and kids are not aware of how they use their body pressure that can make a dog nervous. And so the kids have to be calm as well. So if the dog can experience the kids calm, the dog can actually say to itself, man, those kids can actually be calm. But anyway, and same with kids that are fearful of dogs. If the kids can realize, wow, the dog can actually be controlled, introduce the two parties. You have very less nervous environment. Take your time. Don't rush. So, and it's all about reintroducing. The possibilities are endless if you can reach that level of trust with your dog. Okay, but the dog, you have to be the facilitator for that dog to feel better about everything, its whole environment. All right. Great question.
I'm going to backtrack a little bit. About 3 questions ago, we answered the question from Ben about the dog who's on level 8 to 10 reactive.
Ben Lopez?
Yep. Laura and Luciana.
Shout out to Ben Lopez.
Hopefully I'm saying that right. Laura and Luciana also had questions that were very similar. So hopefully we addressed all of yours as well. Thank you both for your questions. Let's do one more. This question comes from Shannon.
Shannon, let me see.
Top.
Okay. All right, cool.
How can I stop my dog from trying to go through our fence to kill the neighbor's dog? Her obedience is on point except when the neighbor's dog is out. He starts barking and she goes insane. It takes all I can do to get her back in the house and not tear the fence down.
You might want to e-collar train that dog for the come or the recall. If the dog's obedience is on point, then you're already halfway there. You just have to get through to your dog in those moments. So what I would do is practice the recall without that dog being there, making sure that your dog does come, like has to come, even if you have to work with a long line first. But make sure your dog knows that that is not okay. E-collar train that dog to make sure, put a little have to in the want to, right? So if your obedience is on point, you're halfway there. Just try and get through to your dog in that moment. I mean, practice a lot of structure in that backyard, right? A lot of recalls in that backyard. And when you do that, you'll be golden. You'll be golden, man. You just, the dog would have heard you recall him over and over and over again in that backyard. Then when that dog comes around, he'll do the same thing because he's used to doing it. Or if your dog still doesn't get the message that he has to come, you got to go get him. Go get him every time. And pull him back in the house, or tell him to sit or down, right? So that your dog knows that if he doesn't listen to you, then this is going to happen. Okay, but that's a tough one. That's a tough one to deal with. It's very difficult for dogs not to engage in that, especially if the neighbors can't really control their dogs. So best of luck to you, but I would try my best to control my dog, and if you know, ultimately, if that doesn't work, maybe try and see if you can talk to the neighbors and talk to them about controlling their dog a bit. All right.
We doing one more?
Yeah, let's keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
This question is from Suzanne. My puppy is aggressive with bones, even if he is in his kennel, locked up. It moves and he goes crazy with growling and barking. Mean growl. Not sure how to correct this issue.
Okay. That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Okay. There's a couple of ways that you could go ahead and address this problem. I would teach my dog the out command, right? And the easiest way to do it is to e-collar train your dog so that you can communicate with your dog without touching the toy or touching the dog. What you don't want to do is engage and try and touch the toy while the dog is all in it. You know what I mean? Invested in it. Never do that. Try and avoid doing that, or petting the dog. That's just, if you have a dog that has its bone, then for the most part just leave it alone. But the out command, the way that we teach it is the dog decides to disengage with the whatever it's going. So you say out, right? So what I would do is e-collar train that dog. And the e-collars that I recommend are the Mini Educator 300 TS from Ecollar Technology. I'll link a description, or I'll link the I'll put a link in the description box of the e-collar so that you guys can see which e-collars that we work with. But these are very sensitive, 100 levels, whatever. But I would e-collar train that dog and be as sensitive as possible. But if the dog didn't out, when I said out, when I would say out, I would touch the button, right? And if that didn't help, then I would go up. I would dial up and try again and repeat. But basically, what you want to be able to do is, when you say out, your dog disengages with the toy so you can grab it. Okay? Too many people want to touch their dogs and put their hands in their bowl and stuff like that. That's not necessary. If you gave your dog some food, they should just be able to eat it, you know, without worrying about. Because I tell people all the time,
You wouldn't want hands in your food when you're trying to eat.
If I'm eating my chicken wings, man, and somebody puts their hand in my food, oh my God.
What if I was just trying to take a chicken wing?
Yeah, I used to get real aggressive with her when she tried to take my food when we first. That was when we first was together. But yeah, I mean, so anyway, back to what I was saying. You know, I would e-collar train the dog easily. You can do prong collar and leash and correction, but you may get to really reduce the risk of the dog coming at you. I would put the dog in the crate, e-collar train the dog, or back tie the dog, e-collar, and practice that out command. Okay.
That's 7. Save the next 7 for the other one. Think it's getting long, or should we keep
We
going?
can cut it in half, though.
We already did cut it in half.
No, we
On
can just
accident.
put them two together.
Oh.
Yeah, when I edit it, we can put those two together. Yeah, let's keep going.
This question is from Luciana, who also commented on the question of Ben's, but she's got a whole nother question here. We have a 3-year-old pit who came to us when she was a little over 1. We are certain her first year wasn't the best. She is deathly afraid of loud noises, mostly rain and thunder. Oh, and the beeping of the smoke alarm when the battery is dying. She pants, paces, and shakes so terribly.
My goodness.
Thunder coats don't work, and we've tried a variety of calming meds. We try to be calm and chill and distract her, but nothing we are doing is working. Help. Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Interject.
That, which I just read the question she described was this dog about 3 years ago, and then he went deaf.
Yeah, he lost his hearing.
So he's not scared of anything anymore.
He's how old is he?
14.
He probably put another 3 years on his life because he ain't gonna be stressed out anymore because he lost his hearing. All right. Well, I would definitely teach that dog the place command, 100%. Even if you got to put the leash on him in the house or her. Is it a her or him?
It is a her.
Even if you got to put a leash on her, I would go ahead and do that. Okay? And place command is going to be your best bet, in my opinion. Teaching your dog how to stay in one spot despite what's going on. But don't just teach it when thunderstorms and all that other stuff, fire alarms are going off. Teach it when there's nothing going on, so she has that foundation, right? So I will put a link. I keep saying that wrong. I'll put a link in the description box of the how to place command video so that you can see just how to do that. Okay? Because your dog definitely needs something to occupy its mind a little bit, right? So it may take some time, but you want to be able to give your dog a job to do in that moment of instability. Okay, let's keep it going.
This next question is from Caitlin. When we have guests over, my 4-year-old Golden will bark and whine out of excitement nonstop, while also hopping, not fully jumping, onto our guests and run around for at least 5 minutes before she finally settles down.
Mm-hmm.
It takes her a long time to settle down and to leave the guests alone.
Mm-hmm. How
do I get her to stop doing this and to greet them normal without the hyper reaction?
So, if the only time your dog experiences people coming in and that explosion happens, one of the things that I do with my dogs is us as the owners, when we walk in the door, nothing happens, right? So I'm pretty sure your dog reacts similar to how you described when you come home. What you want to teach your dog is that calmness gets the dog what the dog wants. So the dog wants the interaction, right? And it's been reinforced that the crazy party behavior is okay. And so what you have to do, what you guys, the owners, have to do first is practice coming home and ignoring the dog, or even telling it no, or go lie down on its bed or something like that. Okay, but nobody should be saying hi to that dog until it is completely calm, right? That 5 minutes. Hey, Caitlin, sorry we got cut off again. I don't know what the heck's going on. But like I was saying before, you want to teach your dog how to go to its bed despite what's going on. And you could practice opening the door, just opening the door, or going towards the door while your dog has to stay in the down. And then opening the door, and same thing. And then ringing the doorbell, and then the same thing. Your dog still is in the down. And then going outside and then enforcing that your dog stays down. So give your dog a job to do in that moment, right? And then that hyper stuff, jumpy stuff, will calm down. Plus, you always have to tell your visitors to not say hi to your dog too, because they'll just reinforce it. So everyone always has to ignore that dog until it's calm. Okay? I think that's it. That's it, right? That's it for now.
Sure.
We'll end it there. All right, guys. We'll answer the rest of the questions on another day. Please stay patient for them. And thanks for watching. I'll put another video for who was the last question? Caitlin. I'll put another video on that'll show you how we work the doorbell dog thing. So I've got a video that we put a dog in place while we work the doorbell / knocking on the door, and the dog has to stay in place. I'll put that in the description box as well. It's going to be a lot of videos in the description box, but I want to make it as easy as I can for you guys. Anyway, this is A&J's Q&A. We had a blast. So did these guys, obviously. And we will see y'all next time. Peace.
That's a lot, huh?
Why dogs like it, those dogs?